One of the most fundamental concepts in advanced analytics is a concept called entity propensity models, which measures the likelihood of an entity, whether it be a human or a device, reacting or acting in a certain manner. We can see this, for example, with consumers, right? Their likelihood to respond to a certain kind of promotion, their likelihood to buy certain kind of products when they buy other kinds of products. We can see this with patients, the likelihood of a patient reacting to it in a certain way to a treatment, or the likelihood of a patient dying if they catch a certain disease. These ideas around these entity propensity models, the ability to leverage at an individual level, have been around for a long time. It started for many of us by collecting baseball cards or sports cards. And on the back of each one of these cards, it details the performance propensities or the results of each one of our players over the past year. But there's a game called Strat-O-Matic. Here, I got a copy of the Strat-O-Matic baseball that many of my friends played when I was younger. And it took the concept of the baseball card-centric entity propensity model one step further by actually building very detailed profiles on how a particular batter, in this case, Don Mattingly, right? We had Don Mattingly, another one, just fell to the ground, how Don Mattingly would react in certain situations, right? His probabilities based on the roll of the dice, a much more granular view, not at a season level, not at a game level, but at an individual at batting level. Well, I've recently wrote a blog about these entity propensity models, EPMs, and how AI and Gen AI is transforming those to a much more actionable, relevant level of insights. So it's like taking this kind of a card and building models that says that, Don Mattingly in certain situations with the bases loaded in the 8th inning after playing a doubleheader, how was he likely to react? Or there is a pitcher on the mound who's already thrown 2.5 innings. Well, how's he likely to react, right? It gets into a lot more granularity around the predictive capabilities of an individual entity. Again, it can be a human like a student or a patient or a customer or a teacher or a doctor or an operator. It can be a device like a compressor or a wind turbine or a chiller, right? But this is one of the most fundamental concepts of analytics, modern analytics, that get down to make these decisions at the very granular level in order to drive more relevant and meaningful outcomes. And so I've written a blog that talks about these entity propensity models and how they built off my love of playing the game Strat-O-Matic baseball, and how this concept, which has been around for a long time, it's not new. It's just been taken to the next level by the ability to leverage AI and Gen AI. And the blog that follows up on that one, you wait and see. That's a real eye-opener. Anyway, don't get overly confused by a lot of this AI conversation. It's very fundamental. And in many cases, what AI is helping us to do is to understand at a very granular level of data what entities, again, humans like students and patients and nurses and doctors and technicians, how they're likely to react in certain situations so that we can make certain that we're matching the right patient, the right doctor, the right nurse, the right treatments to get the best outcomes. And that's what it's all about. In the end, it's about leveraging these entity propensity models, leveraging AI to drive more relevant, more accurate decisions that transform an organization's economic value curve. So I didn't want to make this sound confusing, but the point I want to make is this has been around for a long time. All we're doing is just taking it to the next level. Cheers.